Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video I'm excited to do. It is going to be a new updated shopping block video. This is my series that I do every couple months on my channel where I take a few products from my makeup collection, test them out, use them, see if I want to keep them or if I'm going to chop them from my collection. So I have an update from the items that I had last time. I can link that video in my description box if you want to check that out. And I have some new items that I'm putting on the chopping block to decide if I want to keep or I want to let go. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, welcome. So to start my videos, I start with an outfit of the day, and today I have on my slides from Amazon and just some black shorts and a yellow top here. I did do some filming on this eye look. It will be on my Instagram, which is March Beauty Word, and I did another look using the Sigma and Alice in Wonderland collection. Not exactly sure when this video is going up, but I think the collection will launch in just a couple of days. I do have a video on YouTube as well showing the full collection swatches. I have a very cool toned, like darker blue, which is very different for me, look in that video. I do have on the face duo again today, so I will link that video up in the cards if you want to check it out. And again, this specific look will be on Instagram. But we have made it to December. We've made it to September. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. And so many people are talking about fall and posting about fall, and I was like, let's try to get into the fall vibes. So that's what I did with the eye look, even the lip, my shirt. Got some new flowers from Trader Joe's in the background. Meanwhile, it's 113 degrees in Las Vegas. So I'm having trouble getting into the fall y'all mood, but I'm sure trying. But we are here to do a chopping block video, and if you are new to my channel, welcome. I hope that you will subscribe and stay a while. I currently am posting 5 times a week, so lots of content over here for everyone who says you still love the long form, you still love the YouTube. I post 5 long form videos every single week. I do also multiple shorts if you do like the short form, because we have to post it all everywhere now. So the days that I post shorts a couple days a week, I post like 3 to 5 a day. I've also been talking about recently how I'm feeling very overwhelmed with new makeup releases. I'm trying to cut back on how much I'm buying right now, even how much like I'm trying in the PR that I'm getting. So I'm just feeling very overwhelmed, and I'm trying to declutter and organize my life a little bit better, and I feel like makeup is really making that difficult for me at the moment. And I've also just been having so much fun playing with my older products. I have a lot of videos up on my channel about this, from full face of my oldest makeup. I share a video just about all my oldest makeup in general. I do a get ready with me. I have 5 looks with 5 old eyeshadow palettes. Definitely a lot of my content is kind of focused on that right now, so I thought it would be a perfect time to do a chopping block video. And let's start out with something that I have on my face today. I do always link all of my makeup that I'm wearing in the description box, but I wanted to try these again because I've been having such a hard time getting like a solid read on these. So in the last shopping block video, I put in these at Tower 28. They're SunnyDays Broad Spectrum SPF 30, the tinted sunscreen. So I have 2 different shades. I purchased one myself, and then the shade match wasn't great. And so Tower 28 had seen my video and they sent me another shade. So my shades are Silver Lake and Mulholland. And again, neither shade match is great for me because even though this is a tinted sunscreen, like this one is too dark for me. And I remember when I tried it the first time, I just went right into it. And by first time, I mean the first time I was trying it again, I just went right into it and like slapped some on my face. And I was like, oh, and I immediately got upset because speaking of all the content, I got so upset that I didn't think to film myself in that moment and make an audio of like, oh no, because that was, it's so dark on me. So I do have to mix the 2 of these together, but it's not, I really like the one from Ilia, their tinted sunscreen. Like it's not super lightweight like that. It is a little bit thicker, and so the shade matching can actually be a little bit more difficult. So I feel like I have to mix these 2 together because Mulholland is also too light if I just use it by itself. But if I can do like the perfect combo of these 2, it gives me like a glowy, like I'm almost a little bit more tanned. But I don't know how my shade matching went today because it's just kind of hard. I'm not the best shade matcher either. So I was like trying to like put on my hands and do all these things, and I was like, it is what it is. So I put these in my chopping block because when I first tried them out, I was so excited about this product, and I just felt like it didn't work for me. And I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it made my skin look. I didn't necessarily like the way it made my skin feel. I'm very much into lightweight makeup for sure. And so I just kind of set it to the side, and I really didn't mess with it again. There was more tinted sunscreens that came out, or light coverage foundations, or I have light coverage foundations that I already love in my collection. So these really got pushed to the wayside. So I was like, bring them back in your chopping block, try them out and see if it's worth it to keep. Because not only that, you have 2 of these products. Like, do you need to keep 2? Are you gonna declutter 1? What's going on here? And so, like I said, I have it on today and I wanted to wear it again. I think sometimes it's helpful if I wear products in videos. Sometimes it can be hard because usually it's like coloring that gets thrown off a little bit with like I film in front of a window and then I do have a softbox in front of me as well. But I still like to be able to try to have you see what it is that I'm seeing. And for me, I just don't think this makes my skin look as good as some of my other products. When I first used this, I was like, okay, why was I not liking this again? Like I thought that it looked pretty good. I didn't think it was the most long wearing, but like I thought it looked pretty good. And then I wore it for a second time and I was like, I don't know. I was thinking maybe I used too much product, especially because I do have to mix 2 shades. I was like, maybe it's a product thing, like I just used too much of it. And so today is my 3rd time that I'm wearing it since I put it into the chopping block video. And to me, that also says something. Like if I'm not continually reaching for this, even though I'm trying to use it up right now, and I'm still reaching for other ones, new and old in my collection, that kind of lets me know that maybe I don't love it. But again, to me, I just feel like it's almost like too, heavy isn't necessarily the word that I want to use because it's not super heavy. It's just not as lightweight as some other, especially tinted sunscreens that I really enjoy, that really makes it feel like a no makeup type of look. It is also a pretty glowy product, which I typically do enjoy because I have dry skin and I have like pretty dry skin. I live in the desert, so I don't necessarily mind the glowiness, but I feel like I have to powder so much. Even before I sat down to film, I was using, because I feel like I was getting like more oily looking even around my nose, which normally doesn't happen. So then I was like, okay, I think I need to declutter these. But then because I have a problem and I am a hoarder, I was like, well, you don't absolutely hate it. Maybe you should keep it. And then I decided, no, you're going to declutter them, Samantha, because this is what you're trying to do. You're trying to cut down your collection. But also, like I said, I have tinted sunscreens that I really love in my collection. I have light coverage like CC creams, light coverage foundations, like I said, the tinted sunscreens. I have those in my collection that I love and I reach for over and over and over again. I just, as of right now, I don't have this urge to continue to fill my makeup drawers with makeup that I don't use. I would rather have a smaller collection right now and I constantly just keep plucking out those same products. It's hard because sometimes as a content creator, like the videos where we show our full makeup collection, people like they get a lot of views because they get a lot of comments because people are like, whoa, how did you get that much makeup? And they do well. I just don't care right now. Like I just don't want to keep having so much makeup surrounding me that it's stressing me out. It's cluttering my mind. I can't stay organized. I can't keep my office organized. So when I'm like, oh, I should keep these because I don't hate them and I could put them in videos and I could do all of this, I'm like, no, this is what we are moving on from. It sounds weird because it is a challenge, but it actually very much is a challenge. But again, like I said, I just want to declutter my makeup drawers and get to a point where it's like I know everything that's in there. I've been doing my ranking series right now. I've ranked all the bronzers in my collection, blushes in my collection, highlights in my collections, face palettes will be next. And you hear me say, I didn't even remember I had this blush. I didn't even remember I had this bronzer. And I'm like, I just don't want that anymore. That's not what my journey is at this particular moment. The journey might change. You know, I'm already thinking it's December, okay? Like the journey might change in the next few months here, but at least for right now, this is what I'm focusing on. So all of that to say, chopped. We are chopping the Tower 28 SPF. If I don't absolutely love it, I don't need to keep it in my collection. Next up, I included a mini lip product in my chopping block video. This is from Huda Beauty. This is her liquid lipstick in the shade Wifey. All right, so this is just a little mini and I have had this for many, many years. The liquid lipsticks from Huda Beauty were some of the first products that I really, really loved from her. And I love the shade Wifey because it's just that kind of like perfect nude pink shade that's just so gorgeous, a shade that I love to wear. I really do like this formula. But truly, like, even this tube, like, I'm getting really tired. I'm getting so tired of opening my makeup and just seeing crustiness. Just like crust on the makeup. I've been doing the videos, like I said, like full face of my oldest makeup and that sort of thing, and I'm like, my skin was doing pretty well there, and then all of a sudden my skin started breaking out, and breaking out in like weird places, like between my eyebrows, that like sometimes I get hormonal acne still around my chin and jawline, but when I'm breaking out like up in my cheeks and between my brows, I'm like, is it because I'm using expired makeup? I don't know. I just can't figure out that math equation. So for sure, this lipstick is being chopped as well. But if you can see from the back, like you can see like the scrape in there. I use this a lot. Again, this was a favorite lipstick of mine. I did take this with me on my trip to San Diego, which was in July. And I wore it, I believe, twice in San Diego, and I've worn it a couple other times. I said in the last shopping block video that this one is kind of like a farewell tour for the lipstick. And so, you know what? I used her up. It's all good. It is time to declutter the Huda Beauty liquid lipstick. I'm also just not wearing liquid lipsticks as much these days, so it makes sense to just get rid of it. And then lastly, I only had, well, technically 4 with the Tower 28, but 3 products in my chopping block video, because the last one I ended up doing a single shadow declutter. So if you like to see declutters, I ended up doing a single shadow declutter in there, so I figured the video was going to be a little bit longer with that whole debacle in there. But the third and final product that I included was from CoverFX, and this is one of their monochromatic blush duos, and this one is in the shade Warm Honey. I was saying that I thought I decluttered this. Like, I was like, really? This is still in my collection? Like, when I found it in my blush drawer, I was like, really? And I bought this because so many people were raving about it. This was a product that was sold out. I don't even know what year it was. Maybe like, I feel like everything for me is like 2018. I feel like 2018 was like my peak for buying makeup, trying makeup. Oh, a hummingbird. 2018 was my peak for buying makeup, trying makeup, like I was like getting up reviews. I mean, I also probably went into debt that year, so I mean, that makes sense. But I also bought the CoverFX monochromatic blush, and I just never got into it, but I think I just kept keeping it because everybody else loved it and I wanted to love it too. I just didn't. It was almost just too pigmented for me. It was really hard for me to blend out. I really do enjoy more natural makeup. I do a lot of no makeup days when I'm not filming. I typically wear a little bit more when I'm filming, but just like on an everyday, like last night I went out to a show in Las Vegas. I had concealer and powder on, mascara, and a lip gloss. And that was it. Like, that's what I wore out, and I was like, this is good for me. So it just was too hard for me to work with, and I never reached for it. So this one is definitely getting chopped. I wore it, I don't think it was more than twice. I usually try to wear everything at least 3 times, but I'm pretty sure this one I only did twice, and I was using like the tiniest little brush amount, like hot potato, you know, like that's how I was using it, and I still was like, I just can't get down with it. I know a lot of people loved it. Do people still love it? I don't know. Do you still have it? Does anyone still talk about it? Anyone still use it? Like, why just let it collect dust in my collection? So all 4 products that I put in my last shopping block, they're all chopped. All of them. Bye! So I'm pretty proud of that, even though I had some of those moments where like, I should keep, nope, this is what we're doing. This is what we are doing right now. So let's hop over to the next products that I have on the chopping block. I have 4. Yes, I have 4 here. So one is from TheBalm, and this is the Bronzilla bronzer. So I do have this on today. I used my Merit bronzer balm, which is pretty light. Again, really good for no makeup days, but I wanted to top it with something, especially since I'm filming. I am going out to a nicer dinner tonight, so I wanted to add a little bit more bronzer. So from TheBalm, this is their Bronzilla bronzer. So like I mentioned, I have a video ranking all of the bronzers in my collection. It's a series that I do every summer with each category in my collection, so stay tuned. We have a lot more coming up. And this one, I said that I really like it, and I really like the way that it looks. I just never reach for it. I never remember to reach for it. I never remember I have it in my collection. I do have a lot of issues with hard pan. If you can see kind of like the scratches, I wasn't like getting weird with my bronzer one night. It's that when I have hard pan, sometimes I use the spoolie of a brow pencil to help get the hard pan off. So I just go through and spoolie it. Sometimes I'll use like a cotton round. You can also use tape, just like Scotch tape. But apparently in here I have used the spoolie from the brow pencil. So I don't know if that's what contributes to it, or again, if it's just one of those things of, I have so many favorite bronzers. I love bronzers. It's one of my favorite categories. I think this last week alone, I've tried like 4 new bronzers. So I don't know if that's what it is. Like, I just keep going for those, and I've been doing so much traveling in 2022. I have another trip coming up. I just got back from a trip. I've already planned another trip for the end of 2022. Like, I'm so excited. I love traveling so much. Like, this never comes in my travel makeup bag, and this would be a good one to travel with, you know? Not glass. Like, I'm really not worried about this breaking, but I don't include it. I include my favorites and the ones that I love so much, and so I want to get some more use out of it. So I used it today. I'm going to keep it pulled out in my collection so I remember to use it some more. I don't know if this one will stick around, but I at least want to give it some love because I do think that it's a really pretty bronzer, and I wish that I used it more. So we'll see how I feel in the next one. I also pulled out a setting spray. I know like everyone loves this one, and it's definitely one of those. I think I've included it in a video of makeup I hate that everyone else loves. This is from Charlotte Tilbury, and this is the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. Party all night, stay all day. I know people love this because like I've heard it described as like hairspray, like it just sticks to your face so much and like really keeps your makeup on, which that's great, especially if you have issues, maybe if you're more oily skinned and you have issues with your makeup kind of slipping and sliding and wearing down a lot. I just don't really have that issue. I don't know if it's because I have dry skin. Honestly, sometimes I see people doing like 18 steps of skincare before they do their makeup, and then like 14 primers, and then like all these layers, and then the baking, and then the sprays. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I just don't have time for that. Like, I just don't want to do all those steps, nor do I feel like I need it. I was talking about, where was I reviewing? Oh, I have a palette ranking video that's up. All the palettes that I reviewed in August, I rank them monthly. I rank them every single month, but I was talking about the Rowan Beauty eyeshadows and how everyone says they crease on them. And I'm like, I have no creasing issues, and I don't even use an eyeshadow primer. Like, sometimes I feel like I'm really weird because I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like I don't need a product that when I spray it, my face literally feels like I feel like I'm stuck. Like, I feel like my eyelashes are stuck together. I feel like my cheeks feel tighter. I just don't like the way that this feels on me. And it's like, yes, it's prolonging my makeup and that's great, but I can use the MAC Fix Plus. I can use the Benefit All Nighter, or the Benefit Super Setter, the Urban Decay All Nighter, and those keep my makeup on, or powder keeps my makeup on. And I don't know, I don't have any issues. So I just don't like the way that this one feels on my face. And yes, it might keep the makeup on, but I feel like other ones do too. I feel like kind of the theme of this chopping block video is it's a good product, but I have better, right? Like, it's good, but I have better in my collection. I like it, but I have favorites in my collection. That's kind of what I feel like this shopping block is kind of about. So I don't know, we'll try it out. You can see like I've only used a little bit because I'm like, this is so uncomfortable. How are people wearing this? Do you love it though? I bet you love it. I have a blush because like I mentioned, I did the blush ranking video as well, and I had so many blush. Like, at one point I think I had 4 blushes picked out, and I was like, try to narrow it down to just 1 or 2. Samantha, like, get your life together. So I chose out from Ilia Beauty. This is the Color Haze Multi Matte Pigment. I wanted to pull this one out because this was one of my first liquid blushes that I was like, okay, I can do liquid blushes. I can do this. And again, I feel like it became one of those things where I really liked this. I bought the Danessa Myricks liquid blush around the same time, and I was like, okay. I was like going back and forth between these two, and then I started trying other liquid blushes or cream blushes, and I started liking those even more. So again, kind of falls into the theme of the video. Like, I like it, but there's better. It's good, but I have favorites. Like, that's kind of what I'm feeling here. So I want to give it another try. I think for me, like, once I started trying other ones, the cons with the Ilia was that it was just pretty thick. I always have to put this on the back of my hand first, and it's easier to pick up with a damp sponge. I definitely wouldn't recommend just going in and like doing the internet savvy thing of putting it directly onto your face and trying to blend it out, because it will be really, really tough. So that's the best way to do it. It's a really nice shade, like a beautiful blush shade, one that I wear a lot. And it's funny because as I was swatching it, like, I really had to like press it. Like, I wore this for a long time. I remember, I'm pretty confident I bought it in summer, like the start of summer years ago, and I feel like I wore it like all summer long. Like, I kept going back to this one, and I kept going back to this one. So I've used a lot of it. So might be a farewell tour situation happening, or maybe I'll decide, you know what, actually I do love it, I'm gonna keep it. That's why it's in the chopping block video. And then lastly, this one's on a farewell tour for sure. This one's on a farewell tour. This is from Milk. This is the Hydro Grip Primer. Okay, so I feel like this one has to be near expiration, if not expired. I will say, like I was mentioning earlier, the camera sometimes to real life, the coloring isn't always correct. I can see in the viewfinder, this looks dark green. It is not. I don't know how to, like, I don't know what, no, I have no idea how to show you what it actually looks like because it is not as dark as I'm seeing in the viewfinder. So I know when I held this up, it was probably in the oldest makeup in my collection. People were like, what's wrong with your primer? It's not supposed to look like that. It definitely doesn't look super dark green, but I can tell, like, I can tell the coloring is still slightly off from when I first purchased it. It just hasn't gone all the way. You know, I don't know if that makes any sense, but I've pulled this out since I've filmed my oldest makeup video. I've pulled it out because I want to use it, but then I keep getting scared. I keep getting scared to use it. So that's where we're at. So I'm like, you know what? This is going in the chopping block and we're just gonna put it on its farewell tour because I've had it for a couple years now. It has to be down that road of getting expired. This is what's disappointing to me, and this is what I was saying in my oldest makeup collection. Look how much product I have. Doing these videos has been really enlightening to how much makeup I've wasted, how much money I've wasted, how much just even things like packaging, shipping boxes, like all that stuff. It just, I get a little bit down on myself sometimes because I feel very wasteful when I look around me. And I talked about in one of my videos, I did a haul of everything that I'm buying right now that's not makeup, like what I'm spending my money on that's not makeup right now. And a big part in there, I talked about travel, my love of travel, being able to travel again in 2022. And I look around and I can just, like, you know, a stack of makeup here, that could have been a trip. A stack of makeup here, that could have been a staycation. A stack of makeup here, that could have flown my mom out here. You know, like just different things like that. And then it makes me disappointed. So that's why I'm just enjoying keeping on right now with trying to just be more mindful of my makeup purchases. I'm not saying I'm never buying makeup again. I have it on my list to order an eyeshadow palette actually this weekend. So it's like, I'm not saying I'm never buying makeup again. I just need to be more mindful. And instead of just being like, new release, I gotta go get this, being more mindful and keeping my collection not so overwhelming so I can feel more organized, more at peace, and more at home in my home. So after that though, that's going to do it for today's chopping block video. I hope you enjoyed it, seeing a little bit of a declutter in here and then the next products that I am going to be focusing on. Like I said, I do these every couple of months, and then in between I also do a project pan. So I just did a project pan video last month, and that was kind of kicking off my I'm not buying as much makeup, I'm using older products in my collection. So again, I do have a full playlist if you want to check that one out. And of course, I hope that you will subscribe and stick around if you want to see some of these different types of content videos, not just only focused on new makeup, just a little dabble in here on my channel. Other than that though, that is it. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next one.